Francis, thank you so much for this opportunity to chat with you again. For today's agenda, we roughly have about 30 minutes to take a deep dive into your company. But for today, I wanted to speak about a few different things regarding your company, especially around why you got started, when did you get started, and just tell like the whole evolution about Klave Ink and Beauty. So let's take it back to the very beginning of how everything unfolded, right? Because I've known you for quite a while now, and just given where you're currently at and where you're at now, would you mind sharing your story about the beginning of Klave Beauty and Ink? At the same time, can you talk to us about the journey that you have been on so far regarding the company?
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me today. Just a rundown of how Klave Ink and Beauty was born. It was essentially another chapter or the next chapter of our business that we also run, which is Brows by Francis. I say that Brows by Francis is a foundation for all things that we are doing because that was our starting point. And Klave Ink and Beauty has allowed us to essentially allows us to step outside of our very I would, in a sense, a small bubble that we had with Brows by Francis, and expanded into the vision that we once were having conversations about. But Klave Ink and Beauty is a beauty studio. It is also a licensed tattoo studio where we essentially provide high quality services for clients, and then also we provide trainings for those individuals that are looking to join the industry or to upgrade their skills.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. And how long have you guys been in business so far?
So we are reaching close to a year now with Klave Ink and Beauty. Overall, though, with Brows by Francis, it has been roughly 6 years.
6 years, wow, yes. That's been some time.
And it's all permanent makeup. Yeah.
Wow. Can you kind of walk us through the very beginning of the journey, right? So right before you started Brows by Francis, what were you doing prior to that? When
I first integrated myself into the beauty industry, I always felt very passionate about it. It's something that I love to do. But prior to that, I was working in corporate. So it was telecommunications, just selling phones and working with teams and managing people. That was my full-time job.
Wow, that's a big jump.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
How was that for you? You know, going from, being a GM of your own telecom location to now doing your own thing, that's a big transition for you. How has it been for you ever since then you made that transition? I
honestly would say that that job taught me a lot. Although I was very good at it, I was very good with sales, managing people, and having a successful team no matter what location I was put at. It definitely allowed me to be a better business owner now. And there was a lot of things that I learned that maybe in that time I didn't deem them necessary, or I didn't really see the importance of essentially running my own business, although it wasn't my company.
Right.
But now that if I were to step back, I'm like, wow, I actually learned a lot of things, like how to be patient, how to allow people to learn from you. Just all the little small things that the corporate world taught me and essentially almost like made me do, allowed me to be a better business owner and today. So yes, it is very different because it's more transactional. And with the beauty industry, yes, we are charging for our services and we are providing a service, but essentially we're building long-term relationships and we're building trust. Trust that can be carried throughout many members of their families, of our clients, that it becomes more so like a loyalty thing for them versus my corporate job. It was just like, okay, here tendering it out, or just teaching you this, sayonara, and that's pretty much the end of our conversation.
Interesting. Now, I'm not sure, you may have spoken about this previously, but would you mind sharing what was like that aha moment for you guys, right? For you, like the aha moment was like, I needed to do this. this is something that I find a lot of passion in, and this is one I want to kind of fulfill long term. What was that aha moment for you where you felt like you needed to do this?
It all started because I wanted to get my eyebrows done, and I got them done. And it honestly made me feel so nice. It improved, I want to say, my life in a sense, because it was more so like, it was just so easy. And being a female, we always want to just look apart, but also we tend to get a little bit busy. So just having our eyebrows done, it makes you feel better. And when I got my eyebrows done, that was essentially that moment where I was like, oh my God, I love how it made me feel. I want other people to feel that way. How amazing would it be if I even allow myself to provide that feeling for other individuals. And I decided to take my first course. I actually flew to California because there wasn't anyone in Texas at that time that was offering training. So I flew to California. From there, we did visit different areas like Las Vegas, what was it? I want to say Miami, to get additional training, but I took it very serious from early on because I loved it. And that definitely allowed me to know like, hey, I am doing this correctly, and this is something that I see myself doing long term.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Can you kind of go back to the very beginning of your journey here? How did you find your first 5 clients?
Just using my resources that I had already. I had very good relationships with people. I feel like that's always very easy for me to just be able to hold friendships. And I honestly, my coworkers were very supportive, and they were essentially my first ones, my family as well. They saw how passionate I was, how much I had invested previously, and they trusted me. Okay, so yeah. So they saw how passionate I was and how much I had invested already. And they trusted me. Even if I was a beginner, they're like, yeah, we got you. Like, sign us up. We'll be that model for you. We'll be that first client. Also, my husband, his friends definitely were very supportive. So it honestly came from just everyone combined in our lives. Our first 5 clients, I would definitely say that they came within our circle. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So your first 5 clients came from your circle, and then you're off to the races from there, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. I wanted to pivot here. Going back to at the very beginning of your journey, right? How did you get started? Did you have your own studio? Did you have your own space? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I definitely wish like I had my studio, but no, it wasn't perfect. I started from home. This was something that at first, my first client after training was actually my sister-in-law.
Oh, nice.
And now looking back, I didn't even have an actual bed to do her eyebrows. So we were in the couch, and she was like, just go at it.
Yeah.
So I did her eyebrows on the couch, and from there, we used a spare room in the house, and we started to slowly get it together. I bought my equipment that I needed, and we essentially turned a just lonely bedroom into a mini studio with, its own entrance. So we started from home. From there, I realized that I was actually attracting now outsiders. So a lot of warm leads that I didn't know. These were strangers, but they loved my service, and I knew then that I needed to make the next move, which was actually getting my own studio in a commercial space. So I started off from home, and then I moved into my first lease that was roughly about 200 to 300 square foot, and that was in the Oak Cliff area. Okay. And from there, we were forced, blissfully so, forced to keep upgrading our space. We needed more space.
That's awesome. That's the type of problem that it's good to have, right? Because you're kind of outgrowing your existing space, and now you have to expand to another larger space, right, to keep going. Can you kind of talk us more about that first space, or not the first space, but the second space that you had, right? That space you had in Oak Cliff. Were you the only one that's running that studio? Do you have other team members there, or can you give us like a quick rundown of what was the main operation within that studio?
Yes, so I was a solo practitioner.
Okay.
I was the only tattoo artist offering cosmetic services there. At that time, I was solely just focusing on one-on-one interactions. That was with my actual paying clients and my permanent makeup clients, and also offering one-on-one trainings for those beauty entrepreneurs that were looking to join the beauty industry, so the cosmetic beauty industry. So it was just strictly just me running it. It was a little bit smaller, so I would definitely say it was very cozy in there, but it allowed me to also build a lot of just personable relationships there. But it was definitely a stepping stone. I feel like it was needed. I'm grateful for my little space because it prepared me definitely as the years went by to keep upgrading and not being scared to go bigger.
Interesting, yeah, that's good to know. And can you kind of talk to us more about your timeline? Whenever you just made the jump to start your own business, right? Did you like just quit and just full-fledged went full-time with your position, with your Brows by Francis? And talk to us more about like the timeline. You started the studio at your home. How long did that take before you actually went to your first commercial studio? And then now we're at this studio, right? Can you kind of give us like a time frame, like how that kind of happened over time?
Yes, so with my corporate job, I was probably doing it since I was 18. I started in sales very early on. Actually, I started in sales in general when I was 15. From there, I used my resources, got a better position, and I essentially ended up working for a phone company. It doesn't exist anymore, but from there, it was Sprint. So from Sprint, I worked from 18, I want to say my very early 20s. And when we essentially merged with another company, I decided that it wasn't for me anymore. I was very good. I did enjoy it. It was a very good paying job. I was very young, but it wasn't something that I was passionate about or that I even saw myself doing long term. So whenever I took my first training, I said, I invested so much money into this training. What am I doing still working here? Right. If I have people wanting to book, I have people wanting to schedule with me and essentially allow me to service them, why don't I give myself that opportunity? And obviously I had my husband and he was very supportive with that decision. So I just flat out quit. I quit and I put my 2 weeks in. I finished my 2 weeks because I still felt like part of me wasn't just, I like to just finish strong with everything that I do. So I jumped straight into permanent makeup. There was times where maybe I had one client a month to 2 clients a month, 1 client a week. 3 clients a week, and then it slowly started building up and my schedule started to fill up. So I would say that took me working from home about 6 months before I realized that if I stay here, I'm just gonna be stuck. And now I'm getting inquiries from outsiders, and it wasn't allowing me to open up or even allow myself to look beyond because I was at home. And when I realized that, I jumped the gun and I said, let's just go ahead and look at other studios in the area. We don't have to do it. We don't have to take it serious. Let's just go ahead and just allow them to show us the spaces. And we saw the first location and we signed. So I think everything was just, we're not really thought out thoroughly. It was like, okay, we're doing this and there's no way that we're gonna fail because we're not gonna allow ourselves to fail. We've came this far. There's no going back, right? Just moving forward. But thankfully everything has worked out and it was working out. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies, but I definitely would say keeping ourselves consistent and allowing ourselves to constantly go back to the goals that we were wanting to achieve allowed us to like just stay in our lane.
I see.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And then in terms of like working, throughout these other commercial studios, right? How long were you working at home before you went over to commercial studio? How long was that? Like 2 years, give or take?
No, I think I want to say it was probably about like a good 6 months, 6 to 8 months. Yeah, it was pretty fast.
That's fast growth then, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. Mind you, when I first started, I flew to California because there wasn't, I actually did not know anyone in Texas or Dallas, DFW, that offered trainings that even did this type of artistry. So with that being said, with me offering it and posting it, it actually got a lot of attraction on Instagram, which quickly led me to book outsiders. And at that point, it moved pretty fast, but it was, some of them were cold leads, a lot of them were warm, but essentially I was like, if I want to take this serious and I want people to see this job as a serious job, not just as a hobby, I need to also act a part. So it was about 6 to 8 months when we first decided to leave our home, our comfort, and then to push ourselves to our first commercial lease. Yeah.
Awesome. And then how long were you at your former commercial space before you jumped onto this side?
I was there for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. So within that space, I upgraded to a larger unit, which was about double the size. So I want to say around 600 square foot. It was definitely twice as big as the first one that we signed. But we were there for about 5 years. I would say a lot of people are like, wow, that's a long time. But 5 years goes by really fast. And we were able to really invest a lot of our time and continue to be consistent within those 5 years of us being at our previous location.
That's awesome. Can you tell us more about your space that you have here now? I know you guys upgraded to the new space here, and we did a quick tour earlier today, but just talk to us more about how many chairs, how many team members you're going to have in the future, and what's the mission of the new space that we have here now?
Yes, so Klave Beauty is a Dallas Design District beauty studio and licensed tattoo shop. We specialize in permanent cosmetics. We specialize in all things beauty, aesthetics, brow services. We currently are a team of 3 girls. So we do have licensed estheticians and licensed tattoo artists working at our studio. When we first opened up, our vision was to create a space where we can provide quality training and services to clients and students by also giving them a really, really good experience. So when we were first relocating, our goal was to find a space that was ideal for everyone. So our clients, even with us being at our smaller studio, were coming from everywhere, not just in Texas, but some of them were flying in, some of them were driving hours. Wow. So when we were actually looking for a space, we wanted to be centrally located so everyone can just be within a certain limit no matter where, or it was an easy access. So we're very grateful that we have out-of-state clients, but then also those that may be local or even driving within like a 30, 50 mile radius to us. Right. So when we first found this studio, our goal was never to fill it with 20 chairs. That wasn't our idea. We still wanted to keep it very warm. We still wanted to provide a quality service and experience for everyone, students and artists. So our mission was to keep the quality work and then also welcome artists that love to do their job and take it serious, and they love professionalism. So essentially our goal is to potentially add 2 more artists to our team. We want to keep it very versatile, so we always want to keep growing. I want it to be known as a one-stop shop, but not just a shop, but the shop to go to, because we know that they care about me and they care about my investment that I'm going to be making, whether that is with a service that we're providing or a training. And I'm gonna get my money's worth here because the artists also love what they do.
That's awesome. And I know you just mentioned, you know, you're looking to hire 2 additional team members to your team, right? Can you kind of talk to us about who would be like the ideal fit for your team?
I would like to say that I would love for I would love for an artist that is passionate about their careers and is looking to continue to grow, and it's welcoming to a team to join.
Right.
As far as like their artistry, I am open to different ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be within the beauty space. It can be within another service space, as long as I know that that particular artist is in love with what they do and they're passionate about it. Because if they show me that, I know that with whatever client whichever client that they're servicing, they're going to give them that same energy back, which would allow us to funnel in more clients and keep, you know, essentially our brand behind, like we stand behind our brand and what we offer, quality over quantity.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because you mentioned you want to be a one-stop shop, right? So you're looking for other team members that can really complement your services already, right? What about for, you know, those ladies that are looking to break into the industry and, you know, if they have little to no experience, what about those individuals?
Yes, so actually with my training courses, I like to say that I don't just train people and teach them a trade. I also allow them to see their potential while they're with me, and beyond that. So I do offer training in person here. I have a lot of flexibility with my training, so I can be down to the hours, the packages that I offer, the different courses that I do offer, which are centered around the brow artistry. However, though, with these particular training courses, I continue to offer lifetime support for them, whether that is through email, through FaceTime, through text, various ways of them communicating with me and allowing myself to be open to give feedback, or provide feedback for them even after training completion. I go even beyond to provide renting services for them too, where they will also continue to have me as a mentor, and they're able to work out of my studio, and also as a beginner provide a space for themselves to be essentially put themselves in a position of taking it serious and being more professional. So I always say that they're never lonely in this new journey. It can be very scary being new, but if you have someone, I say like myself, offering you an opportunity to like, hey, you may not have it all together, but at least you have the studio to call home at any given time. You're more than welcomed here to service your own clients and start building your clientele and your business and take it serious. So it not only just it's like, hey, I'm gonna give you the certificate and we're done here. It goes beyond that. So I allow myself to be a lot flexible and also very open to artists that have completed training courses with me to continue working and essentially joining the industry.
Okay. So it seems like you guys have a dual mandate, right? One is you guys already offer products and services for your clientele, but on the other side of the spectrum, you guys also offer like a course training for those individuals that are looking to enhance their knowledge base on some of these industries, right? That's interesting. I know you told me that you recently hired 2 additional team members that you added onto your team this year, right? Can you talk to us about those new 2 team members that you added on?
Yes, so we have our artist Celeste and our esthetician Abigail. They started this year with us. So even with them, the way that essentially they joined the team was I met them through my training courses. Celeste, for example, she was my client, my permanent makeup client. And we got to talking, building a relationship, just like I do with every client, just trying to make them feel comfortable. And I brought up the different services. She was interested in it. She took a training class with me, and even with her was like, oh my God, I know that I text you, but I need help. And I'm like, yes, girl, like don't ever feel bad. Like I completely understand. Or rather you text me than be wandering or feeling alone, right? So from there, I actually saw that she was dedicated to continue to learn, and I offered her an opportunity to join the team. So she was actually our first official team member. Mind you that I am used to having booth rentals. So that's how I operated at my smaller studio. But because I was running out of space with training and just booth renting, it was becoming very tiny for us. We decided that it was time for us to expand. So with us having a larger space that allow us to provide an opportunity for people to actually join the team full time and be under us and carry the Klave Ink and Beauty name. So Celeste was our first artist that joined.
That's awesome.
She is our brow artist, so she does aesthetic work, so brow lamination, tinting, and also she provides brow tattooing, which is the cosmetic part of it, ombre powder brows. So we are working with her right now of just keep upgrading her skills and getting better, right? She's doing amazing. And we have Abigail, who recently just joined the team. She is our esthetician. She's focusing on facials, but same thing with Abigail. I met her through my training courses. So everyone that has ever walked inside any of our places that we have had, specifically with Klave Ink and Beauty, we have built a relationship prior to that. Awesome. So it's very, I would say, community-based, very collective, and we love that about us because it's not just complete strangers coming in and saying like, hey, I want to work here. It's like, hey girls, like we all know each other one way or another, whether you guys took training together, you saw her take a training with me one day, or I talked about this individual taking a training with us. It's very familiar. There's no strangers here. So I love that. So we have 2 team members aside from me, Celeste and Abigail.
That's awesome. So 2 team members so far for the year, and then we're looking to hire 2 additional team members.
Yes.
Right? That's awesome. I don't think I know you spoke briefly about your products and services, but is there anything that you guys offer that we have not mentioned yet regarding the services and products that you guys offer? So
we offer a variety of brow services, all things eyebrows. So ombre powder brows, brow lamination, brow tinting, brow waxing and threading. We also do offer permanent makeup and facials. So aesthetics. So anything facials, we service both male and female. And we are looking to add more services like lash lifts, additional techniques for ombre powder brows, hopefully a tattoo artist. That's where I would really love to have. And then other artists like lash artists or cosmetic tattoo artists.
That's awesome. I know we roughly have about 5 minutes left for our chat. I wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Okay.
If you could go back to day one, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
I would definitely say do it now. And yes, just start it. Just go for it. And do it scared too, because it will work out.
That's awesome. Okay. And then for your clients, right? Whenever they come to your studio, how do you want them to feel whenever they walk out of here?
I want them to feel good about themselves and know that their investment was well worth it. And I want them to talk about it with their friends
awesome.
Because they feel so good. And I want them to know that we definitely provided the best service that they have ever gotten. and we truly cared about them. So whenever they leave our studio, they know that they look their best.
That's awesome.
And feel their best.
There you go. You know, I met Abby and Celeste, and I think they're wonderful ladies. Can you tell us more about what you kind of envision for the culture here for Klave Beauty and Inc.?
Yes, so my goal is for not just us, Klave Inc. Beauty, continue to grow, but also invest in education for our artists that are currently working with us. So whether that is them learning a new technique or I continue to provide ongoing training for them, I want them to be very versatile, but also be very good and masters of their work. So my goal for them is to help them, because they are very new artists, to continue to glow individually their platform. And essentially be that artist for that particular service that they master in. So whether that is brow services, facials, lash lifts, or whatnot, because I would like for our clients to come in and say, I want to go with her because she is a master, right?
That's awesome.
So definitely continue to invest in their education and their learning, and allow them to continue to grow and then also be creative with their work.
That's awesome. 5 years from now, where do you guys see yourself?
I see Klave Inc. Beauty becoming a well-known brand, and have a lot more products, more e-commerce. I would definitely say, as far as I see myself having the best team, the baddest team in the DFW, in Texas, and US, and I see us going nationwide.
Nationwide. All right.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Worldwide.
Yeah. I think last one that I had for you, let me see here. Based on everything that we've spoken about today, is there anything that you want to share to the audience that we have not spoken about?
I would like to say that being consistent and not giving up in the first, I would say, what did we say yesterday? We're like being consistent. Yeah.
Being consistent?
Yeah, I would like to say that being consistent is probably the best thing that you can do when you're looking at a new venture. It's not going to be easy and it's not going to happen overnight. You have to want it just as bad, because no one else is going to see it but you.
Yeah.
So if you know that you're passionate about it, you know that you love it, why not continue to believe in yourself? Sweet. You may not be the best, but you will be at some point.
That's right.
Right? Or, just...
You gotta get your potential in.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's awesome. Sweet. What has been your proudest moment so far?
Oh, I have so many. I feel like every year something happens that I'm like, I saw myself achieve it, but maybe not right now, right? I think my proudest moment is opening up this studio, providing a collective environment, a collaborative environment for artists to thrive and continue to still provide quality services for clients. So even though our books are pretty busy, we maintain our integrity and provide the best service possible for our clients using quality products, providing quality time while they're here, quality experience, literally from the moment that they park and all the way up till like they literally are in their car walking away from the studio or driving away from the studio. So I feel like that's very proud because I've heard many stories where companies go bigger and then the quality just goes down.
Right.
So maintaining our consistency and quality with training, with our services, and just continue to upgrade the whole experience overall, I think has been probably one of our proudest moments of owning the studio and still continuing to provide that for our both students, artists, and our clients.
Awesome. I think that is time's up for us for the day. Francis, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to chat with you today and talk more about your company. hopefully we'll be here next year just to get an update regarding the company, and we'll get an update regarding your new additional team members. But I think it's time for us to take a tour around the space here.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
I would love to. Yes.
All right.